And we're continuing with our video sit-downs with the candidates now, where our attention is turning to the assessor's office. And Melody Peterson is the incumbent. How many times have you been running? How many terms in office?
This is my third term, and my last. I don't plan to run again.
Okay. I'm not going to hold you to that.
Yeah, that's true. You never know.
Tell everybody about you and why you're seeking re-election.
I am seeking re-election because when I first ran, the state at that time had mandated that we go to annual revaluation, and I knew that I had to hop on that bandwagon right off because there was a date that we had to have that completed within our office. So I began the process then, and that required that we have a new software system to support the data that we needed to do the analysis that is required with the annual revaluation. And so as we began that process, the software in many ways was undeveloped, so we ended up having to touch every parcel in the county and rebuild it, and that is a 6 to 7 year process because of the portions that we inspect, and it's just too much work to do in 1 or 2 years. So we're right at the end of that process, and I'm just so anxious to see that finished out, and that when I do walk away from this office, it's done, it's efficient, and someone else can take over easily.
So you've been in the office, obviously, several years. What are the top priorities for you?
The top priorities I have, as always, is to provide the fair, consistent, and equitable property values that the tax system is built on, and that should always be the assessor's top priority, to have fair taxation through the values that are created, so people don't pay more than they should, they don't pay less than they should.
What's the biggest challenge?
Oh, challenges right now, of course, is budget cuts. Our office got cut 14%, and in an office where most of the dollars go to employees, it was a struggle to find a way for us to survive and still give good service to the public. And so one of my challenges is to bring our staffing levels back up to where they should be. And at this point, we're down 2 employees, which we need. And obviously, being closed on Fridays was my solution to make sure that the service to the taxpayers was as good as we can make it, because my clerical staff volunteered. I won't say they volunteered, but they felt that the best ability for them to still maintain the workflow was to reduce their hours, so we didn't have to lay a person off, because we have considerable skill sets within the office, and if one of those persons is laid off, then that obviously has to be shifted to the other employees in the office, which in the end becomes burdensome as the workload is quite high at that point and the stress levels aren't comfortable. And make sure that the processing that goes behind what you do at the counter is completed. So if you just purchased a property and you don't have the name changed on that for 5 to 6 months, that's a real disservice to the public also. So being closed on Fridays, the clerical staff will be in the office. We're closed only to the public. I still have people in the office, and they are able to sit down and finish the processing of what they're doing, so that we don't create a backlog, which is always difficult to dig out of. And so that was our reasoning behind being closed for Fridays, although I do apologize to the taxpayers, and I understand that it is difficult, although we have put a drop box out at the front of the office, so if you have paperwork that needs to be brought into us, you can put it there. There's applications also.
So what steps are you taking or have taken to maintain as much service levels, in the future, going into the future? You don't really know, is it?
No, we don't know. It's all up to what our budget becomes in the end, and we do start that process pretty quickly here, and I will go in and ask for full staffing, and we'll see what happens. We've done a lot of cross-training, and we've looked at efficiencies. We've made sure that we're not touching a project too many times, that it gets done in the most streamlined way. I sit down and I have reviews with the staff. We talk about the processes and how we can make them better, so everyone in the office is involved in trying to make it as efficient and streamlined as we possibly can. So that's what we're doing to keep the service up there. Our website is really has a lot of information on it too. You can download applications, you can find information on levies, where we're doing our physical inspection, questions, just frequently asked questions are on there. So the website is really a valuable source for information also.
So you have this, for budget purposes, you have a piece of the pie. How can you figure out a way to increase your revenue for your office, or is there a way?
We're really limited indirectly. I mean, because directly, the best thing that we can do is make sure that the appraisers are out in the field picking up the new construction, which gives all of the taxing districts the benefit of the value of the new construction. So they can go beyond their 1% plus that value of new construction. So that is the best way that our office can increase revenue for the county. Well, we've also brought up the fees, our application fees for like the current use programs, so that it is more in line with our comparable counties, because we were about half what they were. So we did bring that up, and that brought in a few dollars, but that is really the only way that we could increase any revenues in our office.
So what are the comparable counties? I hear that often, and,
Oh.
and there's different lists for different things.
Okay.
So what
Yeah,
comparable counties?
we're, I don't know if I can remember them all. It's Grace Harbor, Pacific County, Lewis County, Island County. There's 7 of them. I can't remember them all right now, but they're pretty much the same population base, as close as they can get, and in the same side of the state. So those are our comparables.
Okay. So Melody, we've covered pretty much everything that I had on my list here. Is there something that you want to bring up that we haven't talked about? Give you a moment to take a look.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Okay, I have to compose myself. I wasn't ready for that one. I guess the thing I would like to bring up is that I have a great staff, and they're very creative, and they just help so much, and they understand the crisis that we're in. I feel that we maybe had more cuts than some of the other offices, both myself, the treasurer, and the auditor, and we're all struggling, and we're all doing our best to give the best service to the taxpayers. And as I said, our top priority is to make sure that you don't pay any more tax than you should, or that you should pay what you owe, because anything that you don't pay is shifted to someone else. The money all has to go to the taxing budgets, but you need to pay your fair share, and that's pretty much what we're about, plus the programs that the state has given us to manage, which is the senior disability program. We do the farm and forest programs that are also reduced valuations, and we have to list all the properties. We have to keep a current address for the tax statements to be sent to. We are responsible for all the divisions and combinations of properties, as well as the appraising. So we have a lot on our plate, and we try really hard, and I understand the county's situation, that if the revenues aren't there, they aren't there. We're doing the best with what we can, but I will always strive to bring our office up to a level that is at least consistent with our needs.
So I'm going to throw another one at you, and this isn't as difficult, I don't think. Briefly, tell everybody why we should return you or keep you in the assessor's office.
Because at this point in time, I'm very familiar with what's going on. I've been with the budgeting process when I was chief deputy, as well as my years as service as the assessor. It's just change in leadership at this point in time, I don't think would be very beneficial to the office and the county, because no matter how much you know, there was always a learning curve there. And at this point in time, we are just doing as well as we can. Everyone's working together. It's just a good harmony that we're seeing right now, and that's why I want to stay there and just continue this process.
You know, taking the time on beautiful adventure.
Well, thank you for inviting me.